Drugs and alcohol are interwoven into professional sports. It's just the way it is. The fortune and fame that comes with being a pro athlete, combined with many of these athletes coming from nothing, is a recipe for disaster. Here are 10 athletes who have struggled with substance abuse. Chris Lieben. Introduced to a worldwide audience on The Ultimate Fighter reality show, Chris the Crippler Lieben had a decent UFC career which could have been so much more. Known for having an iron chin and savage KO power, Lieben's issues with drugs and alcohol has been well documented in the public eye. Lieben has gone on record about showing up drunk to practice and smoking crack after being on The Ultimate Fighter. Lieben was scary enough in the cage with his demons, and one has to wonder how good he could have been without them. John Daly. Now, you wouldn't think that golf would be a sport that you would have any drug offenders, but you didn't account for John Daly. The PGA's told Daly no less than 7 times through the course of his career to enter rehab. His former swing coach, Butch Hammond, has been quoted as saying that the most important thing to John is getting drunk, not golf. This all came to a head in 2008 when he was picked up by police drunk outside of a Hooters in North Carolina, but he's reportedly been sober since the incident. Todd Marinovich. Todd Marinovich's upbringing was designed solely to make him the best quarterback in football history. This hyper-controlling upbringing instead caused unimaginable harm to Marinovich's career and life. Marinovich was picked ahead of Brett Favre in the 1991 NFL Draft, but wouldn't come near Favre's accomplishments. He would be fined, arrested, and suspended multiple times through his career for use of various drugs. Most recently, he was found naked in a neighbor's yard and suspected to be on meth. Darryl Strawberry. Managing to pull off an impressive MLB career despite his personal problems, Darryl Strawberry nevertheless was snake-bitten through his career with an addiction to cocaine. While this addiction was kept mostly under wraps during his career, Strawberry's problems truly came to light once his playing time winded down. He would be arrested several times for various offenses. Maybe Mr. Burns should have actually put Homer at right field. At least he would have passed the drug tests. Josh Hamilton. The number 1 overall pick in the 1999 MLB Draft, Josh Hamilton seemed to be destined for success in baseball until disaster almost kept him out of the major leagues. In 2001, Hamilton was involved in a car accident which derailed his minor league career and spun him off into drug and alcohol addiction. His career seemed doomed at the start, but Hamilton got sober and eventually showed the world his biggest talent. Hamilton has relapsed 3 times since, but is light years better than what he was back in the mid-2000s. Theo Fleury. An undersized winger in the NHL, Theo Fleury overcame his size disadvantage and a whole hell of a lot of personal problems to become one of the best right wingers of his generation. Sexually abused by a junior hockey coach, Fleury says in his autobiography that it was the trauma from the abuse which led him to drugs and alcohol. Fleury would fail multiple drug tests and often party with drug dealers after games. Thankfully, he's been clean and sober for years and is now a motivational speaker. Jake the Snake Roberts. The list of professional wrestlers who have dealt with substance abuse problems is almost too numerous to count, but the demon hit nobody worse than Jake the Snake Roberts. The victim of a horrendous childhood, Roberts started drinking when he was 11 years old. His alcohol addiction damaged his wrestling career, and Roberts would go from sobriety to off the wagon many times. Thanks to Diamond Dallas Page's DDP Yoga though, Roberts finally seems to have beaten his addiction once and for all. Mike Tyson. One of the most controversial figures in sports history, Iron Mike Tyson's legacy as one of the best boxers ever has never been up for debate. One can only imagine how good he would have been if he had his life straightened out. In what seemingly has been an eternal addiction battle with alcohol and cocaine, Tyson's personal and professional life was completely decimated by his addiction, though things do appear to be going better for him today. Diego Maradona. Perhaps the finest player to ever step on a football pitch, Diego Maradona will always hold the respect of soccer fans for his unparalleled skill. But that didn't mean that Maradona's life away from the pitch was a cakewalk. From the mid-80s until 2004, Maradona has stated that he was addicted to cocaine and alcohol. This most infamously came to light when he failed a drug test at the 1994 World Cup, resulting in him being ejected from the tournament. Dennis Rodman. How out of his mind is Dennis Rodman? He's visited North Korea and says that he's friends with Kim Jong-un. That's how crazy he is! One of the best forwards in NBA history, Rodman's accomplishments on the court have been overshadowed by his behavior outside of basketball. Worse yet, Rodman has dealt with alcohol addiction for years after his retirement. He's been to rehab several times, but none of those stints seem to have helped, which makes him the loosest cannon in the sports world to this day. And that's it for our list. Did we miss any athletes with legendary substance abuse problems? Tell us in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to The Sportster. Until next time.